we are moving to state level office.
All right.
We've got lots to do.
So let's welcome our candidates for District 13 of South Carolina House of Representatives. If you'll come up to the podium. Michael Gaskin is the Democratic challenger. John McCravey is the Republican incumbent. Yeah, keep the handshakes, don't come out swinging. Mr. Gaskin has served in various capacities in the community, including on the Greenwood School District 50 board for several years, and Representative McCravey was first elected to the House in 2016. Welcome to both of you. First, we will hear your opening statements of 2 minutes. I remind you to speak about your motivations for seeking public office and your priorities if elected. For the opening statements, again, we're doing the ABC order, so we will begin with Mr. Gaskin's opening statement.
First, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably pretty simple to me because I don't do complexity. I keep things simple. This is not my first time running. It's not my second. This is my third time running, and believe me, I don't like losing. But I'm here to make a difference. I am here because of something I think that can work for all of us and have a return on investment very quickly. It's called education. In our state constitution, it says that the General Assembly has a right or must provide us, our children, a minimally adequate education. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nobody in this room want anything minimally adequate. So let's talk about this. If we invest in our education system, which right now, our base student cost is about $600 off, we can provide teachers a great salary. They can have a career, not just a job. If we invest in education, we would have a workforce that industry would want to come to Greenwood and invest in. If we have an educated workforce, and if we invest in education, our children will have hope. Our guns in this community and the choices that our young folks are making will be limited. And that is the most important thing. Our return on investment is very short. No matter how we look at it, ladies and gentlemen, government is a business. And I never understood why we never did the simplistic thing and look at the break-even cost when it comes to government. And that is the reason why I will continue to run as long as I feel I can make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative McCravey, your opening statement.
Thank you, sir. I graduated from Greenwood High School in 1976. I went to Clemson, the University of South Carolina School of Law. I worked at the Supreme Court. I worked at the Attorney General's office, but I chose to come back to Greenwood 30 years ago. And my wife and I made a great decision because it's a great place to raise a family here. I'm seeking re-election because I want to continue the work that I passionately believe about. First, economic development. Economic development really lifts everyone up, and I've been a business-friendly legislator and encourage that. As a result of good policy, we have record economic growth, and I'm one cog in that wheel, but we're down to 3.6% unemployment in Greenwood. You know, a few years ago, we couldn't have imagined that. So we're bringing jobs now, and because of a lot of local leaders too, I want to give you credit. Partnership Alliance. We now have so many jobs coming to Greenwood, we have a workforce issue. So education is a priority, and I agree with Mr. Gaskin on that. I come from a family of teachers, and I'm the only candidate in this race endorsed by the South Carolina Education Association of Teachers. President Cosentino, we must support regional universities like Lander that educate the students that stay here in South Carolina. We must support things like the workforce pathways at our technical schools that are allowing people to retrain and take these new jobs. You know, I also believe in law enforcement and first responders. I believe they deserve our support, and I believe veterans deserve our thanks. I'm for freedom. I believe in the Second Amendment. And Editor Whiting, I'm for better government. And I agree with you that transparency and ethics are important for credible government.
Thank you.
I believe
No, thank you is in time. All right, both of you touched on education, so how perfect is it that the first question deals with that and goes to Mr. Gaskin first? Voters are interested in our public education system, a key role of state government. Please explain your views on South Carolina's education system and how to best educate our children.
The best way to invest in education is to fully fund it. I mean, it's already been stated in our Constitution that we have a limit. 57% of what our tax money should go towards education. We started a lottery, and that lottery was not to supplant funds; it was supposed to provide funds. And that's what happened. We ended up supplanting. But if we invest in education, yes, we would do great things. How do we do it? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to get our teachers a salary to make them want to be there. We cannot continue to say that education is great, but then don't fund it. I think that's where we're going wrong. But even more, our representative says that there are jobs that are unemployment at 3.8%. He is dead right. But people are working more than one job because they're not paying a living wage. That is what the problem is. We need to quit saying we love South Carolina and start just loving South Carolinians too. It is very important that we invest in education. It's the greatest return on investment we can have in the shortest amount of time.
Thank you.
I would agree with that in many ways. I think we should fully fund education. We need to rework a lot of these funding schemes that were set up 20 or 30 years ago that are supposed to be funding our schools and funding our local government. They're way out of date and they need to be reworked. That's one of the things that the legislature is looking at, redoing these. So nobody's getting enough money. They all claim, all the different funds claim that they're underfunded. Well, there's only so much money to go around, so what do you take it from? I definitely don't want to take it from education, but what do you take it from? Health, we don't want to take it from health. Law enforcement, we don't want to take it from law enforcement. There are a lot of different things that we have to look at in the legislature, so it's not as easy as it sounds. I think our schools, number one, should be safe. And I believe we need an SRO, which is a school resource officer in every school. That's the one thing that does make a difference in statistics to cut down on some of these unsafe things that have happened. So I've been advocating that for 30 years, ever since our Oakland issue, and I continue to believe in that.
I got a rebuttal.
Opportunity for rebuttal.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, where the money come from? I'm not a person who thinks we should raise taxes. But in the state of South Carolina, we have 167 taxes. 133 of them are exempt. That's why it goes back to the base, going back to the break-even point. When we start looking at the almost 5 million people in South Carolina, and the number that are paying taxes, and the number that are paying the amount of taxes to make this government run, because keep in mind that the purpose of taxes is so that we can have funds for education and such. I'm sorry for my time.
Thank you.
All right. After 2 decades, the General Assembly has passed a gas tax to fund infrastructure this past session. What is your plan going forward to find ways to maintain our existing roads and to address future needs given a rising population and the needs of economic development?
Well, 2 years ago, when I was elected, the number one cry was do something about our roads. They're crumbling. And we've done that. The first year I was in the legislature, that's mainly what has dominated our discussion. and we passed a comprehensive roads bill, and we did not try to kick the can down the road like it's been done the last 10 years. You know, it took 10 years of neglect to get us in the shape we're in. So now you're starting to see roads fixed in Greenwood. You're seeing 221 fixed. You're seeing the bypass fixed. And you're going to see a lot more. There are at least 15 bids out for roads to be fixed right here in our county. And that's continuing. But it's not going to be fixed overnight. You know, even with this modest gas tax that was put into place, we still are half the tax of most states, like Georgia, North Carolina. They charge twice as much as we do. But we believe with frugal work and putting the money toward the asphalt and not these other issues, that we can guarantee that it's going toward the asphalt. I would not have voted for that bill if they had not guaranteed it was going to asphalt to pave those roads. So you're going to see a difference. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's coming.
Mr. Gaskin?
Well, I think Mr. McQuaid is right. You have seen improvements. But the thing that I think that's very important is that we need to speak this up. Because people are losing their lives on these roads. Our vehicles are getting damaged. That's why you hear people talking about needing more school buses. A lot of it because of the roads. So I know that it takes time. I know that it takes money. But that's why you elect us. You electing us to be innovative and creative and expeditious. While we're wasting time and fighting about a lot of other things, we need to focus on the things that's going to make your lives better.
Representative McCravy, rebuttal.
The first 2 cents of that gas tax is going to the Rural Safety Program, which is going to most of our accidents that are fatalities are when people run off the road in rural areas. So that first 2 cents is going for those to fix those roads and the conditions on those roads. And so that was a priority, and we made it a priority. We also send more money to the CTC, which is the local roads, county roads people who spend that money where they know it needs to go.
Thank you.
All right. Next question starts with Mr. Gaskin. As with the congressional race, many citizens are interested in your views on health care, noting that state lawmakers' decisions impact citizens in terms of what is covered and what budgetary assistance is accepted from Washington. Please briefly describe your views on health care and health insurance.
This is real quick with me. Ladies and gentlemen, our governor has not signed to receive funding for the state. I'm the governor who's running for, I'm calling his name James Smith. He said that when he get into office, he'll sign. And $11 billion will come to the state of South Carolina. I think that's enough said. I don't think that we need to continuously fight over things that's not going to help South Carolinians. The question is why? And you can't get that answer clearly. You get some answers that people just put together, but why isn't we signing our names on the dotted line to get funding for the health of South Carolinians? I don't understand it. I think it's so simplistic. Just signing your name on the dotted line, $11 billion.
All right. Mr. McCravy.
I think the reason that our Republican governors have rejected expanded Medicaid